Hey everyone, First T here. Thanks for checking out this YouTube channel. Congratulations, Justin Thomas, on winning the Sentry Tournament of Champions 2020. Here's his post-win press conference interview.
Justin, thoughts on how that all played out?
I don't really know, to be honest. My adrenaline's kind of wearing off, so I'm tired. I don't know what happened, but all I know is I played. I mean, really, 16. I feel like I didn't play that poorly. I hit a great drive. It just the wind got it, took it a little farther, and 70-yard bunker shot. It's not exactly easy, but I played 16 holes about as good as I feel like I could have played them in those conditions, and I felt like I had total control of the tournament. I was doing everything well, and then just kind of got between clubs on 17, made a great putt there for par, and then 18. That just was a terrible drive that left me on a steep downslope and hit the wrong club, but we got lucky to where we had a chance, and even more lucky that we were given more chances and fortunate to get it done.
But that will open up to questions.
In the playoff? Yeah, I had a 113 hole, and it was kind of I mean, that pin's so weird because you can do so many different things, and that's kind of when I said to Jimmy, the wind was kind of quartering down and off the right, so I either needed to hit something high and cutting that flew the slope to have some spin, or I need to hit something kind of driving with a little bit more right to left on it to land up on that top shelf and roll down, and I just felt like well, it's actually funny. The first thing Jimmy said was, what do you think's the safest? And I was like, we're 113 yards. I need to make birdie. I'm not too worried about what the safest play is. Like, we need to make 4. So just for me, I felt like my best chance was going to be to kind of hit a cut sand wedge, and we're trying to fly at about 8 short. So that was playing, I felt like, about 95. So I just tried to hit 95 cut sand wedge, and looked like it was pretty close to going in.
Loft on it was what?
Sand with 57 degrees, yeah.
Ben?
Mate, they say that you can learn more from a loss than a win, but I feel like this might be a win that you'll take a lot away from. I know it's early, but can you sort of speak to that maybe?
Yeah, you can take anything you should take something from every round. But, yeah, it just was such a bizarre way for it to finish. I mean, something about this place, I seem to have the tournament pretty well under control, and then I hit it in a hazard. It was on 15 and 17 I did it. But as long as it ends up the way it did, then I'm fine with it. But, yeah, it was – I feel like I'll be able to – once early next week or after next week, I'll be able to kind of sit back and maybe think of some stuff we could have done differently.
As a huge positive, 12 wins now, the most for anyone who's currently in their 20s on tour, and I think you just took over just at Jordan's spot there. Talk about the accomplishment of having so many wins.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's not an accomplishment getting to 12. I mean, it's an accomplishment winning today, but I'll have fun with my family and celebrate it tonight, and next week we try to get 13.
Shed?
Curious about the pitch shot to the right of the green on the first playoff hole, I guess it was, where that of the 3 guys, you look like you were least likely to...
Yeah, I was definitely in the worst position. I was praying that ball stayed in the fairway so I could get my hands on it, and I didn't have a very good number on the second shot. It was a 3-wood. If I just pured that 3-wood. If I hit it like that, it had no chance, and I couldn't get a 5-wood there. So I tried to kind of cut a 3-wood, which is hard to do, downhill, ball above your feet. And I hit it on the screw, so when it went over, it just we went back there and I saw where it was, and I was like, Jimmy, what do you like here? What are you thinking? And we kind of both agreed that we felt like a sand wedge was going to be best because less bounce and it wasn't going to dig as much, and it was very grainy and wet, so I had the wind to my advantage to where as long as I hit it hard enough and up to the left, the wind was going to take it down. And man, when it was rolling, I thought I had a really good chance to go in. But it was one of the better shots and definitely the best chip I had this week.
One more thing. Earlier in the week, we sat here and you talked about, I definitely should have won more. I'm a little disappointed. And so here you are winning more. So I guess I'm trying to just gauge how that feels in light of what you said earlier in the week. And
yeah, I mean, right now it's I don't know. It's been a pretty bizarre last 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, kind of like Ben said earlier, asking about the winning and losing. I feel like I'll be able to really take a lot from this once I figure out what it was or whatever it might be. But yeah, I mean,
Winning's winning.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always nice, no matter how it's done.
You can quote me.
Yeah.
Doug?
Two things on 18 in regulation. A nice moment to reflect on. On the second shot you had, did you hit a bad shot or was it a bad line?
It was a really bad lie. It was the wrong club. I should have hit a 5-wood. It just, I had no chance to get to the green. The only good thing about a 3-wood was that it was going to cover more if I slightly pulled it, not hit it as far left as I did. But I mean, as steep as the thing is the farther down you get it, the flatter it is. So I hit that drive so bad and so far off the toe that I didn't get it far enough down to be flat. And it was, I mean, with a 1-shot lead, that was so stupid. I mean, I would have been better off hitting a 6-iron than a 3-wood. It doesn't make sense. So, if I just would have made 4 there, I would have won the tournament in regulation. Obviously, if I made 5, I would have. But standing there, I'm like, hey, we make 4. Standing on 18T, I'm like, we make 4, we're probably going to win this thing. And, boy, I botched it up pretty badly.
And I know some things take a while to digest, but after you miss the 8-footer and you're off to the green with head bowed and hat off, are you already digesting the pain of throwing one away?
For sure. Yeah, it's so weird because Xander had to go through the same thing I did with the wind on that putt. I mean, it's not a hard putt. It really is probably the 2 easiest putts that you could get to that pin. Xander's was probably straight, maybe left edge, and mine was right edge, something like that. But because of that wind, the wind kind of picked up on mine and it went low, and the wind stopped on his, and that's why his broke. So it's the same with Patrick's putt on the last playoff hole. I mean, there's no wind there. That thing goes in the dead center. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know how I won today. I got very fortunate.
Rob?
After what happened on the last in regulation, where you had all worried about your second shot on the final playoff hole?
I wasn't worried. I don't like that second shot. It's not I fat it once a year. I fatted it like twice this year. Something about it. It's just I like working the ball left to right, and you need to work that thing right to left. And for me, if I try to draw it, my miss is going to be a little bit behind it. And then when you got a huge slope behind you, it's really behind it. I had a perfect 5-wood number and a perfect lie, I thought, in the last playoff hole, and I fatted a 5-wood again. It's just I don't know what it is about that hole, but apparently I need more than a 1-shot lead. I know that.
Along those same lines, have you ever played the same hole 4 times in a row in a tournament that you ended up winning, or even ever in that situation?
No, definitely not. I know it was the worst hole we could have possibly played to try to beat daylight. We picked a 680-yard par 5 with the wind blowing 30. I think a 200-yard hole we could have maybe got in 5 or 6 times. But I was saying that to Jimmy. We were walking down that last playoff hole. I'm like, man, this is a pretty bad hole to play when you're trying to beat daylight.
In the back, Ren?
You won this tournament back in 2017, arguably your best year. You won your PGA that year. How do you feel after winning this tournament this year compared to after winning it in 2017?
I don't know. I mean, they're very different. I was at a little different stage of my career then. But not that one win was better than the other or felt better. I mean, they're both tremendous accomplishments and huge for me. But that was a long time ago, and they were both done differently. This one was a lot more stress and a lot more hard fought, and so I'm probably a little bit more tired, a little bit more exhausted after this one. But they both ended with the correct result, which is nice.
Ben?
But true to form, mate, should we expect a 59 on Thursday?
I hope so. Tell me where to sign. I'll take it right now.
Are you expecting to, I guess, I know you have to digest, like you said, but you hopefully will push this, through
Yeah.
bigger and bigger things?
Yeah, I haven't thought about, anything next week yet. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to stay tonight because I missed my flight and I don't know what's going to happen. So hopefully I'll be able to find a room around here, and we'll get there tomorrow. And then once tomorrow gets settled, then we'll worry about the Sony.
Shed?
This may be a little bit repetitious, but what's the emotion? Because you don't seem like, I'm sure you're happy you won, but is there more other emotions like relief and so forth that are sort of mixed into that?
Yeah, it is. It's just a lot. It was really hard today. I mean, you know, if you went out there and played 18 holes in that, like, you'd be tired at the end of the day just for how hard it was.
And the 40 extra shots.
Yeah,
before.
and I wasn't going to bring that up,
Okay.
but trying to win a golf tournament and the grind, and then the emotions and how I was winning and then I was barely winning and then I was losing and then I barely got in a play. It just, that takes a lot out of you. So I probably don't seem as elated as I might be or as I would hope to be, but it'll just take a little bit. Once I get back to the hotel, hopefully with my family, I'll be able to enjoy it a little bit and we'll talk about it. But yeah, relief is definitely a word that comes to mind, but still very happy.
Doug,
You've had obviously a nice run since it started at Malaysia, but just curious, as much as you won, do you think it's underrated, the fact that you're guaranteed coming back next year? Do you think about stuff like that?
Absolutely. I mean, I was stressing last year. I only had 5 or 6 events left to try to get in, and there's no bet. That's the first thing I said to Jimmy on 18 after we won. I said, we're coming back. I mean, I don't know. I guess everybody feels differently about this event because, you know, some guys don't come, but, you know, families, whatever it might be. But, man, I love starting the year here. It's a pretty nice feeling.
And secondly, I know you're in the moment, you still got a big putt left, but as a competitor, is it at all, what's it like when you hear someone scream out cheater after Patrick hits?
Someone do that?
Never mind. Should I retract the question? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
So you didn't notice that at all?
Congratulations once again, Justin Thomas. What are your thoughts on the 2020 Sentry Tournament of Champions? Let me know in the comments section below. And please, click on the thumbs up icon if you liked this video. Subscribing to this YouTube channel and sharing the link also helps. And don't forget to click on the notification button for this channel so you won't miss the next First 2T video.